Hi, welcome. This is Marty Murphy. Have you ever said those words to yourself? I'm so stuck. Or some variation of that? The key to getting unstuck is noticing, first and foremost, the judgment behind feeling stuck. Say you're like, I'm stuck in a job I hate. I hate my boss. I can't believe I stay stuck in this. So that's all the rhetoric part. But what is below that? What is the self talk below that? And I've noticed this in myself and in so many of my clients. That's the first layer to be dealt with, is the self judgment. And I've said this in workshops and other videos that I've done, that the more I do this work, the more it boils down to acceptance, 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 acceptance. And that is absolutely true. But how do you get to acceptance? You have to notice the self-judging thoughts first. And how do you notice the self-judging thoughts? Here's a couple simple ways to find it. So next time you hear yourself saying something like that, I'm stuck, notice the feeling first behind that statement. Or like, God, I hate my boss. Why do I stay in this? Notice what is the feeling. It's usually angstful. It usually doesn't feel really good. And when you get in touch with the feeling, you can notice, like, why am I feeling this way? And it's typically always because we have a judgment about ourselves. So you might genuinely be like, my boss is a jerk. And that could be absolutely true. That person's suffering in whatever way they are. And don't try to go to forgiveness too quick with them, but notice, like, the judgment out, they're such a jerk. But do you criticize yourself for, like, why do I stay with someone? I had this in my life at one point when I was in a relationship a long time ago. I had the thought pop in my head that was like, I must think nothing of myself. I must have no self-esteem to think this treatment is okay. And when I realized that, I was like, oh my God, I had such a judgment about myself. I had no compassion for myself. I was pounding on myself like, you're pathetic. And why do you stay doing this? Why do you stay stuck in it? Yet I wasn't attending to the part of me that was wounded. What I was doing was just trying to cover it over with, like, oh, just buck up and, man up and, woman up and get up and take care of it. And I couldn't do it. And it wasn't for lack of trying. I couldn't do it because I was so stuck in self-judgment. So the first key is notice the feeling plays. When you have a statement like that, notice what is the feeling around that? What's the feeling below the surface? And then what's attached to that feeling? What judgments are going on about yourself, towards yourself? Think about, like, God, I'm being so harsh on myself. That is so often the case. And when you first and foremost deal with the judgmental thoughts that you have, that is your roadway to freedom. Because what that does is it loosens the roots around that belief. It starts uplifting it and loosening it so that it's like, oh, wow, I'm really pounding on myself. I'm coming down on myself about this. If you just try to go to, oh, I'm stuck, and you're not dealing with what is below the surface, why you're staying stuck, and more than anything else, what is the judgment about yourself? So, like in my instance, when that example that I used when I was like, wow, I must think nothing of myself, like, that's really pathetic. That would be the place to start to tap. So in that instance, it'd be like, even though I think I'm pathetic and I judge myself harshly, I deeply and profoundly acknowledge myself now. Even though I come after myself, I really judge myself. I tell myself I'm pathetic. And that probably keeps me stuck. I choose to accept my feelings anyway. Even though I think I'm pathetic. I can't believe I haven't gotten through this yet. I choose to acknowledge myself anyway. I am so pathetic. Why do I stick with this? I deserve better. But then I don't give it to myself. That's really pathetic. To know I deserve better. And yet I don't give to me. What the hell is wrong with me? And just take a breath here. So right there, that is acknowledging that, oh my gosh, this is the way I talk to myself. I tell myself I'm pathetic. I say all these things to myself. And you want to tap through that, the self-talk, the defeatist self-talk, the judgmental self-talk. Tap through that. And then you could shift into something like this. What if I'm not pathetic? What if this is just the tactic I use to survive? What if that's true? I learned to doubt myself. I learned to believe lies about myself. And I learned not to trust me. And I judge myself so harshly. And I'd like to release at least some of this self-judgment. What if I can? What if by becoming aware of the ways I'm hard on myself, that's the place to begin? To attend to that judgmental voice inside of me. And by freeing that up, I can get unstuck. I can loosen the grip that the judgment has on me. What if that's possible? I don't have to believe it now. But what if I can entertain this idea? And that can make all the difference. So take a breath. So that would be the way I would ease into it is, first and foremost, notice what's the feeling place when you say statements like, I'm so stuck, or, I freaking hate my boss, and why do I stay doing this? Check in on that. Anytime there's a why thing, like, why do I do that? That's a pretty good indication that there's judgment and harsh judgment below the surface. So notice the judgment, tap through the judgment, and then you can start to ease into the place of these are survival tactics, because that's true. Anything we do that is not serving us now started out as a way to survive, especially as a child. And I personally believe children are brilliant to figure out how to survive in a place where they were never maybe shown how to survive. So then you can start to honor that part of you that figured out how to survive and realize, those survival tactics aren't working for me anymore now. So start with the judgment below the statement, I'm so stuck, and whatever variation of that is for you. I hope you find this helpful. Take good care, and I'll see you next time.